But that said, you know, that's a big part, is, you know, kind of having something as a plan. But on the syncopation front with the samba thing, those of you who want to try, I mean, again, just, you know, if you feel like it, try it. I'm just going right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. And again, to borrow what Jim was talking about, he's asking about the coordination of it. I might come back to that gridding idea and say to myself, to just work with alternating hands to start with, you know. And I'll run through like all my common rhythms, you know. I'm just purposely kind of accelerating the process, but I'll usually go through isolate downbeat, E, and do that with my hands. Then I might say, okay, let's take rhythmic pieces, like a box, something like this. Maybe I've got this rhythm, okay, 1 E and, you know, or if you want to think of it in a simpler notational context, you say 1 and 2. And the thing, again, like we're talking about for this, what I'm doing with my bass drum is I'm basically playing this figure. And bass drum and hi-hat, excuse me. 1 and 2, 1 E and 2 E and 2 E and 4. So that rhythm keeps recurring over and over. Anyone know what that's called? You have a recurring rhythm like that?
Ostinato.
Thank you, man. Right on. He's educated. What was it again?
Ostinato.
Ostinato. Something is a repeating pattern like that. Bossa novas. A lot of world music styles, and again, that's a terrible term too, but rock and roll's ostinato tends to be the backbeat. You know, that's way oversimplified, but it's that tends to be it. Or like Bo Diddley. We're talking about that's something dom da da dom dom bo da dom boom 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 boom, goes on and on. But you in a lot of the world styles like the Brazilians and stuff, the thing I'm playing with my bass drum is actually usually played by a bunch of drummers in a group. These huge drums. It's surdos, right? Tobin, is it surdos that are Brazilian? I always get confused.
Yes.
Yes. So big surdo. They'll have one mallet and they'll be going, but they're doing it like this. Like about 100 people in the street dancing. So when any of you have ever seen it, like in Rio de Janeiro, they do carnival and that type of thing, that's this rhythmic style I'm borrowing from, but it's a great syncopation practice because you can take any number of rhythms and put it over that foot pattern. That rhythm right there. Single notes. You can do two groups of 2. 1 E, E and 1 Okay, so. Again, it doesn't have to be this static, noisy snare drum. I might go. Or maybe even just E's and U's. And that's again, I fall prey to this too much. I spend too much on this and probably don't play enough music, but I'm such a big believer that if I've done all my homework on coordination skills, that whatever musical style is presented to me, I'm going to be fairly competent. Like I'm not going to have to think too much about how my body's going to do it, and I can focus on the intent of the music. And again, I've been picking on Jeff all the time. Now, Chris, I'm going to pick on you. Chris and I, like when we work on music, he'll just throw at me, he's got a musical idea, and he's gotten to the point where he's like, he always like, I don't want to talk about it, just go drums, do what you do, you know. And I get that point because just like he doesn't have to think about playing the Mixolydian scale or whatever he's been doing his whole life, I'm not going to really sit there and think about, okay, wait, now so the right hand goes. I mean, if I'm guilty of anything, I can't play the same thing twice. I really am terrible about, you know, I mean, it's either doing what Chris and I do, and maybe, and again, I'll play some of this music at the end. I'm very, very proud to be part of it. It's cool stuff. I mean, he and I were talking the other night. I would say this music is the first time that I feel like I'm actually represented doing something that I feel is like is me. You know, at the end of the day, I love working for Bucky. He's an awesome guy. I love working for Trent. You know, I love working for Sister Hazel guys. Those are not my musical project. When Chris and I work together, we're doing something that's true to us. It's, you know, and those of you that do it and have your band stuff, it's your labor of love, whatever really moves you, and that's such a cool feeling. When, like I say, it's a to me, it's like a kind of a payoff for all this work on this side of it, that I can play things and go, cool, man, when you play some wild, cool guitar line that's in 7/8 or something, you know, and crazy stuff, I actually have got the facility to play something complimentary on my kit, or so we hope, right? It's a hit or miss, but that idea, so like I take that samba idea, and I'll play on that just for a second for you for the coordination of it. And I'm going to use, I'll use a couple different rhythmic like things with it, just so that I'm going to run, matter of fact, I'll run through in my right hand. 4 different 3-note groupings. 1 E and, 1 E 1 and E and. Okay, so. Okay, so it's kind of hard on the right side. We're going to do the rim so you hear it a little better. Okay, now that could be left hand, you know. That might be going. Okay, so that's pretty tough at that tempo. That probably wouldn't make it a lot. But that second one, what does that sound like to anybody? Anybody kind of getting a kind of a, what is that kind of rhythmically? Does it sound like 16ths or does it sound like something else kind of? Anybody hear this thing? Rhythms that remind you of? Yeah, triplets, exactly. So it's kind of, that's a big and important in all the world, and particularly in the Cuban music styles, Puerto Rican, all the music that's African derived from the African timeline, they get into the gray area between, you know, what we call 16th or 8th note based music and triplet based music. So that's kind of a. So I'm maybe up here with my right hand playing 1 and a 2 and a 3, but with my left hand going 1 E up to E. Again, to borrow back from Shin, when we were talking about the polyrhythmic aspect of it, I mean, that's 2 different rhythms, but really they're one. Because you put them in the box, you think about coming away from the kit, you know, and back to that same idea of this, right? You slow that down. Together, left, right, together. I think, pardon me, make sure I'm telling you that right. Yes, so together, left, right, together. Together, left, right, together. I hope I have that for you. Yes. That's not that idea. And then I've got to think, oh, now in the box, so how does that work with the left foot, you know? Or da-da-da-da. So I mean, again, this is a process. It takes more time. Like, you know, realistically, it'd probably take you 5 minutes sitting there thinking about going, So, okay, I got together, vertically, right side of my body, together, right, left, together, right foot together, right foot together. So that's, and again, I mean, I know that's tedious, gang, but that's the only way you get there. I mean, you don't have to do this, as for the younger people doing it, because adults can kind of, you can analyze it a little differently. Sometimes adults are too hard on themselves, probably more so than kids. But the idea that you don't have to, don't do a lot of this. You know, do it for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, get away from it then. Play some music, play something you love. Like, put a carrot out there for yourself. Like, reward yourself when you do practice, you know, whatever that amount of time. Again, I like to not even think of it as practice, just thinking of having fun. But have a goal. Say, before I do the stuff I know I can do, I'm going to do something I know I can't do. And I'm going to take this one idea and I'm going to see if I can figure out, you know, okay, together, right foot together, right foot together. And I work on that, you know, together, right foot together. Sorry, I was leaving out a thing here. Together, the last right hand would be like together. So together, right together, together, right together, together. It's kind of hard to say. It's like you get your right foot and your right hand. So that's where this becomes, you know, very important to kind of think of that and get away from the drum set. But then, man, after 5 minutes, maybe use a song if you got it down. Use some song you like as your tempo rather than a metronome, so it's not so tedious. But then put it away. Don't come back to it tomorrow or the next time you feel like it. And the neat thing that happens, and it's not going to happen in a week, it's not going to happen in a month, 4 months, 6 months. All of a sudden, you can do it.